So we figured out what caused the front axle shaft failure, and it's that wheel aired down to 10 psi, and then the tire got trapped inside the tire Big Mac. You can see on either side it's pinched, so it's deep in there, so the tire couldn't rotate at all. So then when Will gassed it and the tire was pinched in there, we snapped the axle shaft.
I want to make my wheel.
We've got Will back out here. You might recall his video from a few weeks back where the very first obstacle, which is this one, Mount Flexmore, that he attempted on that occasion, he broke his pitman arm. And now we have moved this telephone pole for the first time since we installed it. We've moved the angle of it, and so right now Will is testing our position of it to see if he can get up. Oh, we've got the telephone pole rolling. That's an interesting development. But the reason we did that is because of this puddle, this rut that kept getting dug out more and more as the weeks went by. So we thought maybe we'd try a different approach. And he's up and over. We've got the telephone pole is kind of snagged under there. If you go backwards, it's going to do some crazy stuff.
Is your Jeep just happy to see us?
Yeah. Got Wyatt pulling that telephone pole out so he doesn't damage any undercarriage components, because it looks like he's going to back up and try to give it a ram. Might have to abandon that new telephone pole position. All right, we're back in position, almost. He might back it up one more time. Looks like he's clicking some buttons, getting some four-wheel drive and lockers loaded.
Alright, so what we know about Will's Jeep is he is in a manual, has front and rear lockers, 4-link long arm suspension, and a pretty built TJ. That 4-liter sounds good.
Stuck on his pumpkin, as usual. That darn mud puddle. Slide off. All right, good. I think he might be throwing in the towel and taking another approach.
Yeah, so we're finding he can't get the traction he needs because his tires get too slicked up.
One more go. I'm gonna try not to get a bunch of mud all over me, so I'm gonna back up a little bit. Dang.
I don't think that's gonna happen today. Now his front diff is all hung up.
Let's try something else.
Alright, so Will's heading. Yep, he is boarding the hard path, which was that telephone pole that we were watching, and he's switching over here to the medium crossing for Mount Flexmore.
Alright, we're back. Will has decided to go for it on Mount Flexmore from a different approach, which we generally call the medium approach. Okay, buckle up for safety. See him bump it. Shouldn't have any trouble at all. Oh, little horn for safety.
Nice redemption.
Nice.
All right, here's Will's built TJ climbing up Big Mac. That's a 30+ inch climb that he has to make to climb that tire face. And this tends to be about where people get hung up trying to get that rear axle to climb. Oh no, we broke something.
Yeah, that broke.
Front axle shaft snapped. Yep, upgrade time.
Will, who is at this point a champion thing breaker, very capable rig when it's working, but he aired down so low that the tire actually got pinched in the donut of the obstacle tire and caused it to not be able to rotate anymore. And because he's got his front lockers engaged, all the force from hitting the gas when that happened was hung up on this component here. All that force transferred to that component that's broken right there, and I'll show you what it's supposed to look like right here. So this whole chunk of metal right there, this whole chunk of metal is actually disappeared. We have no idea where it shot off to, and so looking at that for reference, let's go back here. So that is where the part I just pointed out was supposed to be, but as you can see, it's just straight sheared off. See if we can focus. Oh, straight sheared off. And then also this component right here split. And we're gonna try and figure out how to get this thing out of here. We're gonna hook up a winch. That's the first step. And we're hoping that it will still roll on its own, and we can drive it up to the staging area up front where his trailer is. So that's what's happening. Way to go, Will.
So we've got Jeff's Jeep over there. He is going to be winching Will's Jeep. Will does not have 4-wheel drive anymore, and his tire is stuck very snugly inside that tire, so we're concerned he might just take the whole obstacle with him when we're winching, but we'll see what happens. Yep, alright, we're gonna have to figure out something more creative than just winching backwards. We'll tune back in once we figure that out.
We've got the scissor jack out of my F-150, and we're going to try and crank that up. So what's happened here is, I'm going to use the other end of the rod for the scissor jack here. So this tire is so wedged in here, we were not able to winch him off. It was just moving the obstacle, and so we've got to lift that wheel out of the donut of the obstacle tire somehow. All right, we're gonna go back to the drawing board here. Meanwhile, though, they're gonna try and put the strap high up in the tree so that we can get some upward lift and hopefully be able to pull him up out of that tire. In the endeavor to get the strap as high as possible, we've got the Snackmobile out here. That is David and Brittany's healthy vending business, servicing all of the Virginia Beach public school systems with healthy snacks.
We are not going to get pictures of a Snackmobile saving the Jeep, right?
We might get video of it. We'll be back when we have any progress. So here's what they have in mind to get that strap as high as possible up on the tree. Again, we've got the transit van. David is standing on the roof of. Hopefully we don't buckle the roof and decrease their snack capacity. Meanwhile, it looks like Wyatt has my scissor jack at full extension, just about, and it just continues to compress.
Look at the alternate. It was pushing up onto the tire on the other side.
Snap.
So we're abandoning it.
So the screw rod for this jack is inhibiting its function. So we've got the winch of Will's Jeep hooked to the strap that's tied as high as we could get on the tree. And so Will is going to reel in. Oh man, see how he's lifting that tire? Let's not crush my scissor jack. Let's have 2 people stand on it. The larger the better. That is fun. Wow, careful. Okay. All right, and the jack fell right out. And all right, so now we've just got to tow him backwards. Hey, that was successful.
Can you get some air in the tire, please, Chris?
Yes, sir. We'll be back, and got to get some air in that tire.
That's true. Yeah.
All right, so we now have Will's tire lifted up out. We used a winch to a tree to get him lifted up and out of the tire. And now we're getting off of the obstacle. We got Jeff winching him in the TJ from behind. And we're off the obstacle. So now we've just got to pull that half shaft out and remove that so then Will can drive home on it.